From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And it is 5 o'clock here on your Tuesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
Lauren, good morning. I'm Rafael Sanchez, and here are your headlines on the September the 29th.
When these shootings occur, you are hurting a family. You're not just hurting that one person.
Grieving mothers showing their strength in numbers as gun violence in Indianapolis continues to grow. The practical and emotional help one group is now offering.
How much funding should IMPD get? This morning, the arguments both for and against increasing the department's budget.
And a major effort underway to make sure families in need don't go hungry. The new program providing meals to residents in a food desert. Thank you for starting your Tuesday with us here on Good Morning Indiana. Lauren, good morning to you. And Lauren, have you noticed that every time that our Todd Clausen comes back from a wonderful 3-day vacation, not only does he look relaxed, but he's always sporting some new threads. I'm feeling kind of jealous here, Todd Clausen. What is your budget here on Good Morning Indiana?
Oh, man. Gotta tell us, Todd.
No, that's not a suit.
He's like, this whole thing?
It's a fairly new suit, but I mean, it's not super new, but thank you. You know where I bought it, Rafael,
Yeah.
so. You know, our favorite little store back home on the East Coast.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. all the money goes to the weather department. That's all I know. All the money is in the weather department.
Outside right now, you're going to need an extra jacket as you walk out the door this morning. It is cool, it is crisp, and it's clear. That is the good news as you see from downtown. Looking to the north, temperatures are in the 40s this morning. 45 in Indy, 46 in Lafayette. 49 is the current temperature in Bloomington. So you definitely need to bundle up a little bit here this morning. The good news is we got rid of that pesky drizzle yesterday afternoon and evening. Skies are mainly clear right now, and that's the way they stay for most of the day with this cooler air that's in place not only at the surface but in the upper levels of the atmosphere. A lot of times what happens is as the sun comes up and you start to mix the sunshine and the warmth with those cooler temperatures, you'll build in a little bit more in the way of cloud cover. So we'll go from mostly sunny to partly cloudy this afternoon, but with the sunshine initially this morning, we do warm the temperatures up pretty quickly. That is the good news. Should be right around 60 degrees already by the noon hour, and then temperatures will stay in the low 60s throughout much of the afternoon. Then we'll cool off pretty quickly once again as the sun starts to set. So overall, pretty nice Tuesday. We'll talk more about the rest of the week for you coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads to start your Tuesday. No crashes here on the east side. This is I-70 and Post Road. You can see traffic moving along up to speed both eastbound and westbound. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your streets as you're heading out the door this Tuesday. Well, an overnight shooting sending 2 people to the hospital. This happened around 12:30 this morning near 16th Street and Kildare Avenue on the city's east side. Police say that a car was heading west on 16th Street when it was struck by gunfire. Officers say it's not clear who fired the shots, but it may have been a passing vehicle. The westbound car then crashed into a power pole. A man and a woman were inside. They were hit by the gunfire. At last check, they're both listed in serious condition.
Lauren, since Friday, more than a dozen people have been shot in the Circle City. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson, she joins us live this morning with a group of mothers now taking a stand. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Rafael. So of those 12 people shot, we reported yesterday 3 of them died. And now those families of those victims, they're not only finding themselves looking to solve those crimes, but they're also looking for a place to grieve. And that is what the purpose of Purpose for My Pain is. It's a group here in Indianapolis that does just that. It's giving families a place to grieve with others who are going through the same thing. Angel Hall tells us it's a group she joined after her son was shot and killed in 2016.
When these shootings occur, you are hurting a family. You're not just hurting that one person. You are impacting a whole family. Like when you kill that one person, you just killed the whole family.
Now, the group focuses on reaching out and supporting other moms who have been impacted by gun violence, even through rent, utilities, and food assistance. Plus, the community at large, holding community walks, back-to-school giveaways to help keep school-age children on the right track. Now, you can get involved with Purpose for My Pain on Facebook. And as always, if you have any information on those shootings that happened over the weekend, IMPD wants to hear from you. You can always call anonymously to Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. As calls to defund the police continue across the country, here in Marion County, the City County Council is considering a proposal that would increase funding for Metro Police. The department is asking for more than $7 million increase for its 2021 budget. They say this would allow them to pay for all 1,743 officers. In addition, it would help the department hire more diverse officers to serve the community in which they work. Some of that money would also cover body cameras along with the legal settlements as they arise. Some residents want that money to be invested elsewhere in the community, though.
If you're going to offer more training for officers with that $7 million, not more militarized weapons, not more cars, not body cams that don't work, then maybe people would be for it.
Well, despite the overwhelming amount of comments against the budget increase, there were some comments in favor of the increase as well. They pointed towards the city's escalating murder rate and other violent crimes that have taken place in our city. The City County Council will vote on the budget in another meeting. That date has not yet been announced. By the way, IMPD is in the process of continuing to roll out its body cam program right now. We learned Monday that they're nearly complete with putting them to use in the east, north, and downtown districts. So far, about 500 body cams are in use. The department is scheduled to start deploying them in northwest, southwest, and southeast districts next month, and they should be done with the rollout mid-November. Police out in Speedway are also getting cameras. Last night, the town council unanimously approved a contract to equip all 38 officers and vehicles with cameras. The 5-year deal costs about $65,000 annually. It's with the same company that IMPD is using for its body cams, which helps Speedway get a deal. There's no timeline yet on when the cameras will be implemented.
Turning now to the latest on the coronavirus and its impact on our state. 879 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported to the State Department of Health. That is a slight decrease from Sunday's total and the lowest number of reported cases since Thursday of last week. So far, 118,322 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. 11 new deaths were also reported on Monday. Since the pandemic began, 3,365 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. Now, Indiana remains in good shape when it comes to hospital resources, which of course is always the good news. 40% of ICU beds in the state are available. 13% are being used by COVID patients, and 82% of the state's ventilators are available. Just over 3% are being used by COVID patients in these cases.
Well, we want to take a closer look now at who's being affected by the coronavirus here in our state. Just over 48% of those infected with the virus are under the age of 40. And of that age group, those ages 20 to 29 account for the highest number of infections at nearly 21% right now. Infection rates of COVID-19 have been rising among young adults in recent months. In May, the CDC reported the average age of someone infected was 46. Back in August, it was 38. During the summer months, the highest incidence was in 20 to 29-year-olds. And some of the hot spots for infections are college campuses. This morning, more than a dozen Purdue students are facing suspension for violating the school's Protect Purdue pledge. The pledge requires students to agree to take steps to help stop the spread of the virus on their campus. 14 students, including 13 student athletes, are accused of having a party inside of a residence hall over the weekend. Purdue President Mitch Daniels released a statement saying, in part, quote, "We are lucky to have only had 2 of these types of incidents. The fact that this episode involved student athletes can make no difference. At Purdue, we have one set of rules for everyone," end quote.
Good morning to Lebanon, Plainfield, and Martinsville. This morning, a major effort now underway on the city's east side of Indianapolis to make sure that families in need, that they don't go hungry. The Herbert Simon Family Foundation donated 20,000 pounds of food through organizations like Big Green Indy and the Conscious Alliance. Officials distributed that food at the John Bonner Neighborhood Center on Monday, as you can see. Organizers say many people on the east side already live in what's known as a food desert. The pandemic has made it even more difficult to access really good, healthy foods.
We hope that this helps folks to have some period of time where they have to spend less energy worrying about food, and they can spend that energy on other things that need their energy, including just maybe getting to enjoy a little bit of the day.
Organizers say the goal is to provide food to at least 160 families. It's time now to check your local forecast. It is great to have our Todd Clausen back after a nice relaxing vacay. Todd, welcome back. And what do you have for us on this Tuesday morning?
You know, lots of sunshine back in the forecast. The one day I take off this month, and it's the wettest day we've had in over a month. We didn't have a lot of rainfall yesterday, but it was just kind of that pesky drizzle that was off and on throughout most of the day. And that brought our rainfall total for the month up to 0.12 inches, so just over a tenth of an inch for the month. And that's the number we'll end at, and that will make this month the driest September on record for the city of Indianapolis. Now, we're in the clear as far as visibility goes here across most of the area. Right at the bottom of your screen, though, you notice a little bit of the counties filled in gray. I just point this out in case you are heading south on 65 here this morning. You're going to be running into some dense fog the closer you get to the Ohio River, and then eventually into Kentucky. That's where those dense fog advisories continue. So just be aware of that. The rest of central Indiana just fine this morning. As the kids go off to school, definitely send them off with the jacket. You'll need it. Temperatures in the mid-40s, turning partly cloudy this afternoon as the kids come home with high temperatures that'll be topping off right around 62 degrees.
Todd, thank you. We'll see you again in just a few moments. More than 100 million rapid coronavirus tests will be deployed across the country. After the break, the latest effort to slow the spread of the virus.
And a major development in the Breonna Taylor case overnight. The Attorney General has now agreed to make the grand jury transcripts public. The latest from Louisville coming up after the break. And let's take a live look right now at your commute in Hamilton County. Good morning to you here on US 31. This is a live look near 136th Street where things are pretty quiet this morning. Great news if you're heading through that area. No crashes, no delays to slow you down. It's 5:11. We'll be right back with more right here on Good Morning Indiana. Stay with us. The time right now is 5:14, and we're keeping a close eye on your commute this morning. Good morning to you over here on the southeast side of town. Here's a live look at I-74 near Acton Road, where traffic is traveling up to speed. So if you're heading in from areas like Shelby County, Rush County, maybe you're in Franklin Township, you shouldn't have any problems for your commute at this hour, but of course we'll keep you updated. A rapid test for the coronavirus will be sent to Americans all across the country. President Trump announcing on Monday that 150 million rapid COVID-19 tests from Abbott Laboratories will be deployed to 50 states. 50 million tests will be sent to communities hit the hardest by the pandemic, including assisted living facilities, home health and hospice care agencies, and historically black colleges and universities, as well as tribal nation colleges.
This does not require any kind of machine. It's very rapid, and this is not one of those deep swab things that people are reluctant to use.
It almost could not be easier. It starts with 6 drops of liquid onto this piece of paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the test, twisted 3 times. The adhesive is pulled off, and you wait 15 minutes, and that is the test.
Oh, well, the tests should be shipped out in the coming weeks.
Now to an update on the Breonna Taylor case. Kentucky's Attorney General says he will comply with a judge's ruling, that ruling to release the audio transcript of the grand jury testimony. An anonymous grand juror filed a motion requesting all recordings, transcripts, and reports of the grand jury be released to the public. The juror said there's public interest in the information because of distrust of the legal process. Attorney General Daniel Cameron says he is confident in the case that he presented, which only recommended a wanton endangerment charge for one of the officers involved in the botched raid that resulted in Taylor's death. Now, meanwhile, the former Louisville Metro police officer charged in relation to the case, Brett Hankinson, he made his first court appearance on Monday. He pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of first-degree wanton endangerment. He's facing charges for firing blindly into Breonna Taylor's neighbor's apartment. Hankinson is one of 3 officers who fired their weapons the night that Taylor was killed. The other 2 officers, Sergeant John Mattingly and Detective Miles Cosgrove, were not charged. Hankinson turned himself in hours after the grand jury indictment. He was out on a $15,000 full cash bond shortly after. Hankinson's next court appearance is set for October the 28th.
In Maryland, William Green's family has received a $20 million settlement after he was shot and killed while handcuffed in the back of a police car. Police Corporal Michael Owen was seen calmly putting Green in handcuffs, but what happened next is not on camera. Owen shot Green 6 times in the back inside the police car. Detectives there say there was no evidence of a struggle. The payment to Green's family is the biggest in state history, but it's drawing criticism from both sides.
To write an historically large check, it seems to me you would do that after you really understand all of the facts.
These families are going to get their just dues as far as money, but you still have the issue.
Well, Green's family says that they plan to use the money as a resource to fight police brutality. Meanwhile, Owen is facing multiple charges, including murder, manslaughter, and assault. He's the first officer to be charged with murder in the line of duty.
Lauren, another devastating fire out west. Back to California, a large wildfire now in wine country is just simply growing out of control. No containment in sight. This a picture from a woman in Santa Rosa who says she's been seeing ash just falling from the sky. This is known as the the big fireglass fire, which erupted on Sunday in that area. The California Fire Department says the glass fire has consumed 36,000 acres and it's not contained. Tens of thousands of residents across Sonoma and Napa counties have been forced to evacuate their homes, as you can imagine, because of the smoke and the flames and the ash. At least 21 people have been treated for burns or respiratory issues related to that wildfire. And Todd, it's just simply devastating to see those pictures. We could only wish that they could get some light rain to sort of help those firefighters, because those fires have simply been devastating.
Yeah, they really need it. They need a day like we had yesterday that was just kind of cool and damp. And somebody sent this photo into Kevin Gregory last night, but it really painted the picture of what yesterday was. Not a lot of rainfall, but you had the cool temperatures as well. It gave you that real fall-like feel and just the dampness that's out there with the leaves. And you can see, obviously, the moisture there on that person's deck. But the good news is going forward here, plenty of sunshine in the forecast. It's the driest September on record, even with that rainfall yesterday. We checked in as the driest, at least for Indianapolis. Sunny but cool stretch of weather, and there's some really cool mornings that'll be heading our way that you'll see in your 7-day planning forecast in just a second. But for the month, we're still almost 3 inches rather below normal as far as rainfall goes in Bloomington as well as Indianapolis. Not quite as much of a deficit as you work your way into some northern locations, but that was because you had quite a bit of rainfall at the beginning of the month around the Labor Day holiday. Down to 43 right now with clear skies in Peru, 46 in Greencastle, 49 in Bloomington, 45 is the current temperature in Indianapolis. Really need to bundle up here this morning with the jacket. You will turn around pretty quickly if you don't have some sort of jacket or sweatshirt on this morning with these temperatures that are going to hold in the 40s most likely through about 9 a.m. Once we get past 9 a.m., that's when we'll see our temperatures warm pretty quickly, because we will have plenty of sunshine in the forecast. Unlike yesterday, there's the front that went through with the showers now pushing off towards the East Coast, but we're dealing with the wraparound winds from this area of low pressure, and that's what's driving in these cooler temperatures. So it's a brighter day for us today. As far as temperatures go, we're in the 60s, 62 in Logansport, 64 in Anderson, Frankfort at 63 degrees. We're in the mid-60s as well here in a southern or central location, 63 in Indy, about 66 in Shelbyville, then 66, the common number from Seymour over into portions of Columbus. This evening will cool off pretty quickly once again with skies that'll be partly cloudy, and then once the sun starts to set, we go mainly clear. And then overnight tonight, temperatures very similar to what we have out there this morning, 45 degrees, your overnight low in Indy. Tomorrow, starting off mostly sunny, turning it partly cloudy in the afternoon hours. Tomorrow's a little little bit warmer as our high temperature should get up to right around 70 degrees, only to cool off once again Thursday at 63. And then look at some of these temperatures Friday and Saturday, highs only in the 50s, but look at Saturday morning, all the way down to 40 degrees in the city, 30s in the outlying areas. Could be their first opportunity of some widespread frost across the area. Next chance of rain, Lauren, that does not arrive until Sunday.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning. So let's take a look to our west. This is I-74 and State Road 267. If you're driving in, maybe heading to Indianapolis from areas like Hendricks County, you shouldn't have any problems. Very quiet in this spot this morning. Of course, we'll continue to keep our eyes on your interstates and on your local streets and let you know if there are any crashes or issues you want to avoid. Raphael?
So, Lauren, a Florida man who wants to take some of that stress out of your next grocery trip. Up next, see the invention that he came up with to give you some peace of mind the next time you roll that shopping cart. We're rolling along on this Tuesday morning on WRTV. Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Have you seen this? One man's invention could make sanitizing those shopping carts a lot easier. Check this out. This is called the Arch Cart Sanitizer. You push the cart through the arch and it sprays the whole thing down. As you can see, it eliminates the need for wipes on cart handles, which studies have shown are prone to bacteria. The Arch uses an organic FDA-approved solution to kill COVID-19. The goal is to have these in stores by the end of the year. I tell you what, a lot of good ideas coming out of this pandemic, Todd. As you step outside this morning, it is much cooler than yesterday.
Yeah, it's a good idea to have the jacket handy as you walk out the door. Yesterday, you kind of needed the jacket that was also a little waterproof with the rain that was falling and the drizzle that we had throughout much of the day. Today, you just need the jacket. You don't have to worry about it being waterproof as we'll have plenty of sunshine here this morning. We're in the 40s, though, for another couple hours. And then eventually, by the noon hour, we're looking at temperatures that'll be right around 60 degrees. This afternoon, we'll build in a few fair weather clouds, so it'll turn partly cloudy with high temperatures still well below normal today, so you may even need the jacket this afternoon if you're not a fan of the cold, as highs will be right around 63 degrees. The time now is 5:27. We're back here on Good Morning Indiana in just a couple minutes. Stay with us and we'll see you then.
Overnight, gunfire sending 2 people to the hospital. We're breaking down the moments before the shooting and how those people are doing this morning.
Don't be afraid. If you need some help or want some support, we are here with open arms.
The overnight gun violence, just the latest in a city on track for a record number of homicides. We're live this morning with the help available for victims' families and the group trying to reverse this deadly trend. It's September the 29th.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Welcome to Good Morning Indiana. Lauren Casey, it is so cool outside. Just stepped outside during the commercial that the crickets are not chirping anymore. They are sleeping in. It is too cool to be doing all that noise this morning.
Yes, I even utilized the scarf this morning with my little light jacket just so I could stay nice and toasty on my drive here from Johnson County. So, Todd, what all the people need today?
Wait.
What?
You had a scarf in the car?
Oh, no, while I was driving. I like to be nice and toasty warm when I'm driving here, Raphael. It is early in the morning. But Todd, people may need some other things as they're heading out the door this morning.
Yeah, you know, I just switched it from the medium or the light jacket to the medium weight jacket. And now that you mentioned that, Lauren, I'll probably need to change the sunscreen here to hat and gloves on. What do you need to grab before you go here as you walk out the door? But sunglasses needed today. You didn't need those yesterday until late in the day. That's when the sun came out. You needed the umbrella yesterday, not today. Just again, with temperatures sitting currently in the 40s in most locations, you're definitely going to want at least a medium weight jacket to start the day, and then you'll be able to get by with just a light jacket later on this afternoon. 49 in Bloomington as well as Muncie. 43 is the current temperature as you make your way up into the Purdue area. The skies are clear. A little bit of patchy fog across extreme southern Indiana. Otherwise, we're in pretty good shape. The front from yesterday that brought us that light rain continues to push off towards the east. So as we work our way throughout the day today, we start off completely sunny with temperatures in the 40s. 40s, but we do warm pretty quickly, up to 60 degrees already by the noon hour with mostly sunny skies. And then we'll turn it partly cloudy as the day goes on. So you will notice some clouds start to build in, but we remain dry with high temperatures in the low 60s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you are heading out there this morning early on this Tuesday. This is a look on the north side, I-465 near Ditch Road. Traffic here for north side drivers traveling smoothly both eastbound and westbound. No issues to slow you down. So let's take a look in Hamilton County. Good morning to you here in Fishers, I-69, a view at 106th Street, where traffic is still pretty quiet this morning. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your interstates and on your roads this morning. So far, things have been pretty quiet. Raphael?
Lauren, gunfire on the city's east side, sending 2 people to the hospital. This happening overnight. Here are the latest details as we have them here at WRTV. Around 12:30 this morning, this is when it all happened, at 16th and Kildare Avenue. Metro police say the gunfire hit a car heading west on 16th Street. Now, officers say it's not clear who fired the shots, but it may have been a passing vehicle. The westbound vehicle then crashed into a power pole. A man and a woman inside were hit by the gunfire. This morning, we're told they're in serious condition at a local hospital.
And Raphael, mothers are demanding action as violence in the state's largest city shows no signs of slowing down. WRTV's own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with what the mothers want. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So over the weekend, 12 people shot, 3 people killed, making 171 homicides recorded for the 2020 alone right here in the Circle City. And now those families, they're working to help solve those crimes, but they're also looking for people and support to grieve with as they are having that loss. Angel Hall, knows the pain of losing a child to gun violence. Her son was killed in 2016, and she says when someone gets killed, it kills the entire family. She's part of the support group Purpose for My Pain, and she encourages anyone struggling to cope with a similar loss to reach out for help.
I was a little hesitant and confused at first when I first joined the group, but it really did help me move forward with knowing that it is other moms out here that have experienced the same exact feeling.
Purpose for My Pain helps support mothers impacted by gun violence with emotional and financial assistance. The group also hosts community events, and you can get involved by calling them. The number is on your screen right now. It's 317-983-1418, or you can reach out to them on Facebook. And as always, if you have any information about those shootings that happened over the weekend, IMPD wants to hear from you, and you can always call anonymously to Crime Stoppers. That number, 317-262-TIPS. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you so much. Right now, state police are asking for your help after 4 separate interstate shootings over a span of 4 days. Now, the first one happened around 3:30 Friday afternoon on I-465 near Harding Street, that on the city's south side. Around 7 hours later, gunshots hit a car on 465 at Emerson Avenue on the southeast side. Then at 4:30 Sunday afternoon, gunfire hit a semi-tractor trailer on I-74 at the 70-mile marker, that occurring on the city's west side. And around 2:30 Monday morning, an 18-year-old was shot on I-465 near I-65, also on the city's west side. On Monday, a bystander drove the victim to the hospital. He is expected to survive. In another case, a teen was injured by broken glass. Investigators tell us the shootings are not related, but they do believe road rage may be the motive in 3 of the shootings. If you witnessed any of these attacks or you have any information about them, you're being asked right now to call Indiana State Police.
The time right now is 5:36. This morning, a Warsaw, Indiana teacher charged with battery against an 8-year-old student. Investigators say that 58-year-old Deborah Wiley repeatedly pulled the student's legs out from underneath them. Court documents also say Wiley pinned the child to the ground and dragged the student by his ankles across a carpeted hallway. This morning, Warsaw schools say that the teacher has been suspended. She's expected to be in court next month.
It's no secret that the pandemic is decimating many businesses around the city, the state, and around our country. But for Crab 99 in downtown Indianapolis, that's not the case. The Cajun seafood restaurant, formerly known as The Boiling, relaunched and moved to a larger space just 3 months before the pandemic derailed downtown life. This morning, restaurant managers say they've survived the pandemic mainly because of their loyal customers.
Last March, this COVID thing happened. Yes, our sales went slow, but I think we are one of the luckiest restaurants here in Indianapolis that we're still alive and kicking.
Mendez says through the coronavirus pandemic and protests and shutdowns, the business has not needed financial help. He says that's in part to the landlord lowering rent, but even more so due to loyal customers who kept the lights on. This morning, he's calling on Circle City residents to do the same for other businesses and help save the downtown area.
And Raphael, now let's go to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and its continuing impact on our state. This morning, state health officials confirm 879 new cases of COVID-19. Since March, more than 118,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. Health officials also report 11 new coronavirus-related deaths this morning. Since the pandemic began, more than 3,300 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. Now let's take a closer look at the virus's impact on Johnson County. The county south of Indianapolis reporting more than 2,300 total coronavirus cases. 14 of those were reported on Monday. 124 people in Johnson County have died with the coronavirus this year.
A confusion surrounding the U.S. Census deadline. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross says the census will end next Monday. His announcement comes despite a judge ordering it to continue to the end of October. This morning, groups like the Community Alliance of the Far East Side continue to make sure that people are counted. The community organization is invested in this effort. The census determines how more than $675 billion in funding is allocated across the country. We talked with a Far East Side resident who says participation could change things in that community.
We're missing so much, and we can look like the north side, or we can look like the south side, Fountain Square area, but we need that money, we need that funding. And people don't realize we can have that just by filling out the census.
The Community Alliance says that many minority neighborhoods are undercounted in the census process. Time to check your forecast on this Tuesday morning. Todd Clausen, it's going to be a cool one when you step outside.
Oh, without a doubt, you're going to need the light jacket, and some of you may even turn on the heated seats in the car. I was golfing yesterday in all that rain, and my friend, she turned on the seat to warm up as we were driving home. So you definitely may need to do that this morning with temperatures in the 40s with lots of sunshine in the forecast here this morning. We'll warm up pretty quickly. That's the good news, but even as you head home, temperatures will be in the low 60s with skies that'll be partly cloudy, but definitely a cool morning. And if you think this morning is cool, just wait towards the end of the week. This is a little bit of a preview, so I know I'm skipping a couple days for you and jumping ahead to Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but look at the low temperatures that we'll be dealing with. Saturday, 38 degrees. That's in the city. Outlying areas could be even cooler. A pretty good chance of our first widespread frost as we get into Saturday morning. We'll talk more about that extended forecast for you coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thank you. An Alabama family sharing their incredible story of survival. Still ahead, how they rode out Hurricane Sally in this child's playhouse.
Plus, remote learning has many parents opting out of their child's flu shot. Coming up, why doctors say that's a really bad idea.
And good morning to you in Hendricks County. Here's a live look at I-70 near State Road 267, the site of ongoing construction. As you can see by the orange barrels there all over your screen, traffic is still traveling up to speed, starting to pick up a little bit there, both eastbound and westbound. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on your roads throughout the morning and let you know if there are any trouble spots you should avoid. It's 5:41. We'll be right back. The time right now is 5:44 on your Tuesday. Raphael, in just a few hours, President Trump and his challenger Joe Biden will go head-to-head for the very first time in Cleveland, Ohio.
ABC's Andrew Dimbert is in Washington this morning with what you can expect from Ohio.
This morning, final preparations are underway for the first presidential debate, and it will be unlike any other in modern American history. Joe Biden and President Trump will not shake hands. There will be no opening statements and very few in the crowd. Biden says he's prepared for the gloves to come off.
He's going to want to make it personal. He's going to want to get in the mosh pit. I'm going to talk about why I want to be president of the United States.
The candidates' approach about as different as the candidates themselves. Biden taking time off the trail to get ready. But Trump rolling with his rallies, taking his message right to his supporters.
How many hours would you say you've spent on debate rallies?
A little time. I mean, not a lot.
More or less than 16.
I'm running a country. I don't have the luxury.
Trump and Biden are coming face to face for the first time this campaign, while the presidential race is tightening in some key battleground states. A new ABC News Washington Post poll shows Biden getting a big boost from women in Pennsylvania. Mr. Trump is using his Supreme Court pick to energize his base. Biden says health care is at stake, with the court set to decide the fate of Obamacare just 1 week after the election.
This is about whether or not pre-existing conditions will continue to be covered.
And on the eve of this presidential showdown, the American public is getting what's been described as its first detailed look at one of Donald Trump's most closely guarded secrets, his tax returns. In a blockbuster report, the New York Times reviewed detailed information on nearly 2 decades worth of Trump tax returns. The revelations are startling. Trump paid no federal income taxes at all in 11 of the 18 years they reviewed. The Times also reports the president is hundreds of millions of dollars in debt. The president has repeatedly said that his tax returns are under IRS audit and tweeted that he has very little debt compared to the value of his assets. As for tonight's debate, moderator Chris Wallace will give the first question to President Trump. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
It is 5:47 this morning. Many parents say they have no plans to have their kids get the flu shot this year. That's what a new survey from the National Poll on Children's Health has revealed. A third say they won't have their child vaccinated, and 2/3 say they don't think getting the flu shot this year is more important despite the coronavirus pandemic. The flu has traditionally affected children more. The CDC says that kids younger than 5 are at higher risk of developing serious flu-related complications. If your kids are learning remotely, you might think that a flu shot is not necessary this year, but doctors say that's not the case.
Just because your child is learning remotely doesn't mean influenza is moving remotely. It is also still out in the community. It's not just in the schools. It's in stores, at parks, and individuals around you. So we still expect influenza to continue to move from person to person and place to place.
Dr. Esper there says that children ages 6 months and older should get a flu vaccine. He adds that both types, the shot and the nasal spray, are acceptable.
So, Lauren, have you seen this? When a hurricane strikes, you can either sweat it out at home or maybe, if you can, head out to a hotel. Unless you have this. Check it out. A Sunny Crow built a 200-square-foot cottage as a playhouse for his daughter 16 years ago. What? Check that out. She was only 2 years old at the time and used it to play with her dolls. It's big enough, though, to house the family, and that's how they've been using it after Hurricane Sally damaged their home. Crow's son even let some of his football teammates crash there as well. They treated it like a mini getaway.
It was like a night camping out. I mean, we worked hard cleaning up during the day, and then at night it gave them a cool place to sleep.
Now, this is not the first time the Playhouse provided shelter for the Crow family. They also camped out there for some time after Hurricane Ivan hit back in 2004. And Todd Clausen, I would say on these occasions, it pays to be like myself, 5'5", because I could fit comfortably in that Playhouse. Now, someone like yourself, who's more gigantic or more of a gigantor, I'm not saying you wouldn't be as comfortable as, say, a Sanchez.
Yeah, no, my feet would probably be well off the end of the bed trying to sleep there, Raphael. But great idea and way to go. Great thinking ahead. All right, outside right now, starting to see a little bit of this patchy fog develop in some isolated spots. By no means is this widespread, but I was telling you here throughout the course of the 4:30 show that it wasn't out of the question that some fog could develop across across the area. And here we go. Lafayette down to 1 mile visibility. Terre Haute down to a half-mile visibility. And then as you work your way towards the Cincinnati area, right along I-74, some reduced visibility as well. Other areas just fine. So we'll keep an eye on it for you here throughout the rest of Good Morning Indiana and Good Morning America to see those visibilities get a little bit worse. Temperatures this morning in the 40s anywhere you go now. 42 in Greenfield, 46 in Martinsville, as well as Thorntown. It's 43 in Purdue. Richmond, good morning to you over there in eastern Indiana, Wayne County. Your temperature is sitting at 44 degrees. We're in the 40s through probably about 9 a.m. and then we'll climb up into the 50s. We start off mostly sunny and then turn it partly cloudy throughout the afternoon hours with temperatures that'll be eventually climbing up into the low 60s. So it's a brighter day for us, but we do check in below normal across the area as far as high temperatures go. We should still be getting up to right around 72 degrees for your high at this time of year. We're still going to be about 10 degrees short of that number for the day today. Satellite radar picture is clear for us. We have a front that's moving through the area or went through the area yesterday. That's now off towards the east, and with the counterclockwise flow around an area of low pressure, that's what's bringing in these cooler winds and keeping our temperatures below normal really for the foreseeable future. Tomorrow we get closer to normal, but that's going to be the warmest day of the week. Mostly sunny skies this evening. Once the sun sets at 7:30, the clouds will fade away. We'll have a clear sky overnight tonight with temperatures that'll be back down into the 40s in most locations. 48 in Indy, 46 the overnight low in Columbus. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, the warmest day of the week with highs right around 60 degrees. Once again, sunny start. We'll build in some fair weather clouds throughout the afternoon hours. Then as we look ahead, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures will be in the 50s and eventually up to right around 60 degrees as we get into the weekend. But there are several days in a row here with very, very cool temperatures, especially Saturday morning. Widespread frost going to be a possibility. Saturday's high is at 59 degrees. The next chance of rain that arrives in the forecast on Sunday. At this point, though, just looks to be a few scattered showers. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic as you're heading out on the roads this Tuesday morning. Here's a live look at traffic on the east side near I-70, a view here at Shadeland Avenue. Everything is traveling smoothly there on the ramp system as well as both eastbound and westbound on I-70. No crashes in this area to slow down your commute. Of course, we'll keep you updated. Raphael?
So Laura, NASA's new space toilet, you heard me right, the space toilet is ready to go to the final frontier later today. In addition to providing bathroom needs for astronauts, this space toilet also recycles water, allowing it to be used again. NASA says that 90% of all water-based liquids on the space station, including sweat, among other things, get recycled. The new toilet, which costs millions of dollars, is smaller and lighter than the one that is currently installed on the International Space Station. Having a loved one in the hospital any time of year is tough, as you know, but during this pandemic, hospitals across the country are limiting many visitors. Straight ahead, how one father is cheering on his daughter outside her hospital room. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on WRTV.
Welcome back. A 16-year-old coronavirus patient is fighting for her life at a hospital in Houston.
This is pretty cool because of the strict safety rules, as you know. Charlie Swearingen can only have one parent by her side, which are the new hospital rules. But to help relieve some of that stress, the Swearingens, they found a way to see their loved one. Since Saturday, they've driven 2 hours from their home to the 11th floor of this parking garage so they could be right across from her hospital room. Their children holding up signs like this while Jana and Charlie watch from that hospital room.
And made my way up to the top of here and wrote a note on the back of my truck for her, and just to put a smile on her face.
You do what you got to do these days. Texas Children's Hospital has since allowed Charlie's father to visit. He posted to this personal Facebook with an update asking for continued prayers. You can have the prayers and all the best to that family, of course, and to that young lady at the hospital. Time now to check your forecast on this Tuesday. Our Todd Clausen is standing by.
And it's a cool morning for us all across central Indiana, Raphael, with temperatures in the 40s. As you see on both sides of me, 43 in Logansport, 45 in Indianapolis. Radar is quiet. Yesterday we were dealing with the rain, and then once the rain moved out, we were dealing with that drizzle, which wasn't really showing up on radar. But if you were out and about yesterday morning and it's the early afternoon hours, you know it was kind of damp and it was dreary. This morning there's a little bit of patchy fog out there. Otherwise, look for mostly sunny skies this morning, turning partly cloudy later on this afternoon. Still cool though, as our temperatures will be running about 10 degrees below normal today, with highs that'll be in the low to mid 60s.
The sunflower rising at the site of a deadly explosion, and now neighborhoods in this area concerned about what may rise not too far from here. I'm Rafael Sanchez. That story coming up on WRTV.